Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. These are your Kai Havertz alternatives. Of course, Havertz is a player that we wanted, and he's a player that I wanted too. I wanted to spend the money for him, but Bayern didn't. These alternatives are going to be cheaper and probably more attainable for Bayern in the transfer window, especially with the little pandemic in the world. This is coming out from you guys, alright? It's coming out from you. I asked a few people on Twitter and on Instagram, and this came out, okay? If you haven't followed, follow Now Bayern on Twitter and also BayernNow on Instagram. We're growing every single day. But seriously, speaking of growing, the channel is closer than ever to 3,000 subscribers. That's unless 5 billion people just decide to unsubscribe right now. That would make it farther away from 3,000. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 3,000 before this month ends. But starting off, 5th place, I don't know who this guy is. Never heard him. Eberiche Eze, apparently. I don't know who he is. He plays for Rangers. Is that Rangers? I can't even look at that. See, that's how much I know about him. You know, he's probably one of... Why is my thing telling me stuff about butter? It's telling me stuff about butter. I don't know who he is. I don't know. I think watching a few clips that I have of him, he can pass the ball. He has amazing vision. And I saw a little clip on Twitter of him making an impossible pass. The criteria for me, for us looking for attacking midfielders is ideally someone that can operate in the half spaces. You see what Thomas Müller does so well is, you know, he just sits in that right-hand channel half space where he can put in crosses, link with Lewandowski. He's always right behind Lewandowski, but you also have to be mobile. He can move on the right, left. One thing everyone loves about Müller is just look at the corners or crosses. He's trying something unique. Or throw-ins. He's running down the line to get the ball in a weird position. He's right next to the goalkeeper distracting him and making jokes about horses. It's just Müller, and I would like that. I want someone energetic, and for me that was Kai Havertz. Someone that's mobile, not static, not going to stand in the same place. I felt like what Coutinho lacks and also what James Rodriguez lacked was, of course, they had incredible technical ability. Both more technical ability than Thomas Müller. But Müller had the mobility, the movement, the intelligence that James didn't have. Müller can pick the ball up pretty much from any position on the pitch, drive forward, make a pass, effectivity over technicality. That's kind of how it works with Thomas Müller. So ideally, our attacking midfielder has to have that trait about them. And a lot of you, since you requested Eze and I talk about him, I'd like to know your opinion since this is about fan opinions. I don't know many of these players. I don't sit here watching Rangers. I don't think a lot of you do, but some of you weirdos watch the Celtic League. Is it called the Scottish League? Or is it the Irish League? Whichever one it is. It's in the UK, right? Which is a bigger, I don't know, I don't care. I don't care about Europe. I do care only about Munich. But yeah, Eze, good player. Hopefully, you know, you can tell me more about him and let other people know what he is. But he's an attacking midfielder. I think he's 21 or 22. He's being linked to Tottenham for 20 million. So he's already being rated very highly by other clubs. So, you know, it is a player that here we can look at for Bayern and see if he can fit that profile that I just explained. Number 4, and this is someone that a few people requested, not as much as Eze. I only put him in 4th because I feel like he'd probably fit our system better. Zaniolo, and he's playing in a much better league and also in a much better team, so he would know how to play with Bayern. Zaniolo, Nicolo Zaniolo. I don't watch Serie A. I'm not going to lie. I think Serie A is the most boring league ever. I think for me, in terms of watching, it's Bundesliga, Premier League. I don't even watch La Liga. I think La Liga is boring too. I've never watched a single full match of the Ligue 1 games. I don't care. But for me, I don't watch Serie A, so I wouldn't know exactly how he plays. But you can imagine he can shoot from outside the box. He can make the killer passes. I think for me, is he the mold of Thomas Müller that I'm looking for? You know, people are just telling me, well, Müller shouldn't be the criteria for replacing an attacking mid. Well, Müller's playing there right now. There's a reason why he's starting there. There's a reason why we're okay with not going for Havertz because of how good Thomas Müller is playing. So if I'm going to buy any attacking midfielder to replace Müller for the next 10 years, not in the short term, but the long term, they have to fit how Müller plays and how he interprets the game, especially in that team. So for me, Nicolo Zaniolo could do that. I'm not exactly sure. See, that's where football is so beautiful. You know, there's so many players that I don't give a crap about. Like, there's so many leagues that I don't care or watch. You know, I don't sit here and watch La Liga. I'm sorry, I don't even care about Real Madrid versus Barcelona anymore. I'd rather watch the Premier League because it's the hype around it, and the Bundesliga because I love Bayern, right? Like, if I wasn't a Bayern fan, I'd probably just be a casual viewer of just the big European clashes, right? I'd just watch the Champions League and the World Cup. That's probably what I'd care about. But with the leagues, it's like you have to almost give a determination to watch 90-minute games of one specific team. And for me, I don't watch Serie A at all. I think it's dead. It's boring. The defending is weird. They call it the best defensive league, but they call everything as a penalty. Handballs are crazy. The rules, it's just disgraceful to me. But look, Zaniolo could be someone that could come to Bayern. But I wonder if Roma would let him go so early, especially with him just coming into their team just of recent. But moving on, we're not talking about Zaniolo anymore. Mohamed Havertz. I don't know who this guy is either. This is why I love you guys, man. You just you would embarrass me. I don't have that much knowledge of the Eredivisie. If you told me like a James Maddison, I would know who he is. If you said Amin Harit from Schalke, I would know a little bit about him. I'd know more about him than I would know about this guy. Okay, but this guy, watching a few clips, I can only watch the YouTube clips. He looks good. He looks like he can shoot, but highlights are supposed to make players look good. You know why highlights were made in the first place? They were actually made so that a player would look better than they were. So that clubs could just look at that and go, oh, those are their good moments. But they can have bad moments, bad decisions. He looks like a good player, can shoot, man. He has a wonder. I think he's left-footed. I'm not exactly sure on that. I think he is left-footed. He can dribble, and he's fast, 18 years old, and he can definitely add to our team. Maybe around like what, 10, 20 million? A lot of these players wouldn't cost us 50 million. They cost us at least way less than 40 million. And another criteria I went for was versatility. They should be also able to play as wingers, most especially right wing and also left wing. That's where we're at, but mainly as an attacking midfielder. And they should be content to not only sit on the bench, but wait an extra year or two to then start pushing themselves into that attacking midfielder role when Thomas Müller potentially may or may not start declining. But Havertz has a great technique about him. He has one of those, he's saucy. He can create, score as well. But I like that type of player. I like the low profiles, but then they could turn into something great. Could be like a Davies. Davies wasn't some high profile player that we signed. He was low profile, 17 years old, came into Bayern, didn't really get into the first team. Right, he was in the academy, and then slowly, gradually, he started picking up minutes. And then when a big injury happened, people call it luck, but I think it was planned. Well, not the injury specifically, but I think it was always the plan to play Davies as a left back sometime, because we played him against, you know, AC Milan or Inter, or, yeah, AC Milan in the friendlies in 2019 as a freaking left back. So look, luck sometimes doesn't work, but this guy can definitely be that. And I'm looking for those types of players. Of course, I understand that Bayern should be able to sign big name stars too. I want us to. I'm the first person to go. I want Neymar if we can sign Neymar. I want Mbappe if we can afford Mbappe, which we probably could, but we don't spend the money. I'm the first one to go, but I do realize it's very important to keep that certain business model that's been working since the beginning of the 80s or 70s for Bayern. So, right, I think this guy, Havertz, definitely an option for Bayern if we were to get him. It goes, wait, why is he not showing up? Oh, there we go. All right, Martin Odegaard. This is a player from Real Madrid. He's a very decent player, Norwegian. I think a few years ago he was supposedly the next big thing. Actually, I thought he was like one of those players that was dead and he was 30 years old. But this guy's 22. He's not that old. He's left-footed, right? But the reason he's second and not first is because we know who's first. I think, yeah, Odegaard would be an amazing option. He's playing in one of the best leagues in the world. He's doing it in La Liga. You can say that La Liga and the Bundesliga are a little bit close, but not really, because La Liga is about possession. The Bundesliga is about pressing and intensity and physicality. So most La Liga players wouldn't be able to play in the Bundesliga. I think it's just so weird how each league complements each other. The Bundesliga requires pace. and infusing. It's just high pace for 90 minutes, which explains why Bayern are one of the most pressing teams in Europe, and Leipzig are following, and Dortmund are up there too. So I think he could fit Bayern's system. He could drop in there into that attacking midfielder role. But I wonder if he can be versatile. I haven't really seen much of him, especially on the right-hand side where he's left-footed and can cut inside. I want someone ideally that can play across the front three, and he could fit, maybe available. Remember when I was talking about Kai Havertz, and there was a source saying his dream move was to Real Madrid, which I think could have been the case, but it didn't materialize. The reason why I said that, and I said Real Madrid wouldn't go for Havertz this year or next year, was because they have Odegaard, who are very similar players. Odegaard is 22, Havertz is 21. They both have a long-term future, and Odegaard is already at Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't have to spend money for him. Unless Real Madrid decide we're never going to go to a 4-2-3-1 with an attacking midfielder, we're just going to go to a 4-3-3, Casemiro, Modric, for Valverde, and whoever the other midfielder, Toni Kroos. So maybe that's where you get Odegaard, but I don't see him moving out of Real Madrid, especially in the pandemic. And I think Real Madrid want to keep him, and he wants to stay at Real Madrid. Depends. I think if Real Madrid decided they wanted to play that formation, which is probably likely, Odegaard would be available. I think he is. Maybe 40 million could convince him to go away from Real. Not him getting 40 million. No. Us. Never mind. Last one, but not least. Certainly not least. What is going on? Okay. Wow. I swear this is freezing. I hope it's good in the video. Dominic Szoboszlai. This is a player that I think a lot of people just know now. I think maybe I started a propaganda when I made the video, you know, ideally after the Kai Havertz thing. And I was laughing, and people thought I was laughing at him and the prospect of signing him. I wasn't. I was laughing at the fact that we missed out on Kai Havertz and we had to make that video. And I was laughing at the fact that I was saying he was the best attacking midfielder in the Bundesliga, because he is. You know, if you look at the Austrian league, what is it called? So people were like, what? You're laughing at him? I wasn't laughing at him. I was laughing at what I was saying. And he's a good player, Dominic Szoboszlai. There's no question about it. The thing is, the Austrian league is very different from the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga is one of the best leagues in the world. And the Austrian league isn't really that much of a known, you know, people don't really care, right? You can get your Haaland from it. But you can look at Haaland and say, well, he succeeded in the Bundesliga. Therefore, coming out from Salzburg, Szoboszlai can also succeed. And I think he could. That depends. But the thing was, he can play as a left midfielder, as an attacking midfielder. I wonder if he can play as a right winger. You know, I do like how he looks and plays. He's very explosive too. Not the fastest, but he has the pace to really keep up. One thing, though, that I would say about him, free kicks are amazing, but everything looks good in certain leagues and certain teams. Everything looks good. When you're playing in Salzburg and every other team in your league is crap, Salzburg are great. Like, pretty much, imagine Bayern. The Bayern version of the Austrian Bundesliga is Salzburg. That's their Bayern. So, I'm not saying, but then think about the Bundesliga quality. One of the, you know, some of the teams are some of the best in the world in the Bundesliga. In Salzburg, like all the other teams are just crap. So you can almost inflate numbers, and I think that's why I would be cautious. That's why I'd like Kai Havertz more, even though this guy could be cheaper. What makes you say he's gonna come in and actually do the job? Apparently, according to the Sun and the Metro, I think, not exactly sure. Salzburg are open to accepting 25 million for him. What if Salzburg do want to do that? Maybe Salzburg want to just produce talent and sell it on, like Dortmund. And that's how they develop their league. Maybe, or that's how Red Bull developed. I think what Red Bull wants to do is they want to pretty much own every single player and get a lot of money, make a lot of money. I mean, they made 20 million from the Haaland deal, which is weird because it's Haaland. Yeah, I thought Haaland would go for like 70 million because of his goals. But 20 million to Dortmund, and Mino Raiola being his agent, you just know. But Szoboszlai would be a good profile for Bayern. But I just wonder, like I said, if he can play on the right-hand side. If he can play in the way Müller does. I don't think he can. The energy moving, I think he's more of a traditional attacking midfielder. but he could make up for that with his goal scoring and also his assist and creative output. We'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of these players, they're not going to come to Bayern, right? Well, they're not going to come to Bayern. We're not going to go in for them. That's the problem. Some of these players aren't even going to be considered. But the only reason I'm making this video is because all of you asked me to. We already did the Thiago alternative video. We also are now doing the Havertz alternative video because some of you have been asking for it. And that's it. But by the way, there will be memberships on the channel. A lot of you have been asking, how do we support the channel? Well, that's going to be a way to support the channel, right? We're going to have 2 levels, Club Ultras, right? And Club Legends. So you can join either one and you're going to get unique benefits. And I hope that's a way to help the channel and the flow of every single show, live show that we do, because all the member comments get highlighted. So if you really want to say something, all the member comments get highlighted as well, and I can read them, and it just makes the conversations much better. And it's not going to say I'm not going to read any comments from anyone else. I'm just saying member comments are just going to pop up more. Literally, they're going to pop up more. So that's just something that I'm working on. There's going to be custom emojis. So if there's a match day, we're watching a match and there's a goal, we'll have different emojis for goal and different player emojis. It's going to be a lot. And I hope it works with you guys, and I hope that you can find a way to support the channel. That's the way, right? Because some of you have been asking for it. The channel is constantly growing. The community is constantly growing, right? And everything that I earn from this goes right back into the channel, right? We're getting a green screen soon. That's literally everything that's coming out of the channel. We're getting a green screen. We're getting graphic work done. The logo will change soon. I know I'm pretty much exposing everything. Everything is going to change. Well, not everything, but things are going to start to really get better. And that's the point of this channel, is really to improve, right? We can consistently make videos at the same level, but I'm not satisfied. I'm a very demanding person. Sometimes, I mean, this video, I recorded the intro about 4 times because I kept messing up a few things, right? That's just the type of person I am. I'm not a perfectionist, but I do like improving. I like changing something. Like, I change my environment all the time. There was a giant trophy behind there and I decided, you know what? I'm moving it. Now it's up there. It's just how I am. So the channel will constantly keep developing, and you could help that by, joining the BayernNow club. You can be a club legend or a club ultra, and that's going to be very, very major. Being that I would majorly appreciate. But thank you everyone so much for watching. I'm done promoting that. Well, I have to, right? I have to. No one's going to know. Well, when it shows up, I want you to know what it is, right? It's on the join button if you click on the channel. It's also in the videos, right? You can click join. It's not here yet. We're still working on it. Still working on the badges that you get after a few months. Let's say you subscribe for 3 months, you get a new badge, right? It's just going to be crazy, and we're going to make sure everything is beautiful. But first, we have to figure out the new logo for the channel. And if you have any suggestions for that, then let me know. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia san mia, and peace.